What's going on, boys? No guys here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna go over passing because people always ask this question. Why is it when I make a pass, it will always fail? My opponent does it, it works perfectly every single time. And I'm gonna tell you some harsh realities, some half truths, and most importantly, the reason why you're probably failing. The first thing first is it's changed a little bit. Back in the old days, things were a bit different. For example, like nowadays, I mean, talking about cards itself, short pass is important. Yes, a lot of those cards are very, very important. But nowadays, it's a bit different. When I look at players, back in the day, short passing was the most important thing. FIFA 18 was the perfect example. Contrary to belief, what community says, pre-patch was a terrible game because it was ping-pong simulator. For those that played FIFA 18 pre-patch, you know what I'm talking about. So you can get away with those ping-pong passes. Nowadays, there's three things that really matter the most. One is positioning. Two is stats. Three is weak foot. Obviously, if you have a 5-star weak foot, if you're making a pass where someone's got a 2-star weak foot, the pass probably going to fail if you're taking on a weak foot and a bad angle. Also, before, if you played my 15k team in FIFA 20 and FIFA 19, you probably found it a bit easier. Why? Is because short passing was the only stat that really mattered for short distances, general A passes, X passes, etc, etc. Now they've changed it, so now it's kind of an aggregation of all these stats. So for example, it takes into account vision, short passing, long passing, and curve. So now, for example, players who had, for example, 82 short pass, they were fine. But like now, for example, if you got 50 long pass and 82 short pass, your pass will probably go astray more often. So let's go through some video examples. Why do passes fail? The first things I want to say is that when you make a pass, you should never make a first time pass unless there is no one there. Too many players here make this first time pass. If you can't make it, you go back to the goalkeeper. When you reach a higher level, you can do it. This is the thing. A lot of players here, this is another harsh reality, right? The best way I can explain this to you is, imagine, for example, you're in a race. When you're playing Foot Champions, you're driving a Formula 1 car and everyone's driving Nissan Micros. That's what you're doing, you're beating everyone. Once your elo gets to a somewhat high level and you face players on the same level as you, or who are better than you, everyone else on the same field driving Formula 1 cars, then you're thinking, well, why is it not working anymore? What is the thing? What you did before, you can get away with it because the opponent doesn't know what they're doing. So if you're like a gold 3 player and you're versing a silver 2 player, the silver 2 player doesn't really know as much as you do, so you can overpower, maybe you outscore him. Even though your defending is bad, you outscore him. But once you find someone on the same level, the balance of play is different. And that's why when you make these passes, the first time pass should only be made if there is no one around the ball receiver. Important. First, rule number 1. And rule number 2 is if there's no one in the way. If there was someone over here, I would never have made this pass. In this situation, back to the goalkeeper, smack it out, the safest thing to do. But anyway, we get the ball over here at the moment, make the pass going forward. Again, these are perfectly fine because as you can see, I don't make a first time pass backwards. You see like here, a lot of people, they will spam their way out of a pass. Another mistake. You see how I take a touch? I face the player and then I make a pass. The most important thing that you think you're doing, but you're probably not. Now here, I do a quick 1-2. Why? Because there's no one near me. You see that? I can do it. But once I pass the ball back to Reguilon and I want to make a pass to Dembele, I do the ball roll and I guarantee the angle. That's what you need to learn. If you want to make a risky pass, there's a time and a place. If you want to do, for example, this, let's say, for example, let's say this is the goals over here in theory. If you've got a player over here and let's say your opponent's over there, if you want to do a backheel pass here and take the risk, it's fine in your opponent's final, in the final third, in your opponent, in his box, should I say. But in your own first half, you should not be making these first time passes, take a touch, or face a player. This is the thing here. I don't know if I can make this pass. Can I make this pass? Yeah, sure. There's a big chance, but a better player here will slide tackle and defend that angle a bit better. I don't know how good this guy is at this moment. I can't remember his gameplay back, but you see, the most important thing is I use a ball roll to create the new angle and then make the pass. That way, if he tries to defend that, I'm creating a new passing angle. That's the biggest thing that a lot of people are not doing. So you see that even there, the chance of me, like, if I make a pass through ball like that, if he slide tackles there, that's it, bang, he's got the ball. But by doing a ball roll, I guarantee the 45, and then I do a pass all the way down here, and I'm through. I've got the ball completely in the clean. There's no one next to me. I see. I do a bit of a cheeky play, but you get the point I'm trying to say. To get myself in that situation, it was difficult. Now, if I go over to what's going to be called a driven pass. Another example I wanted to show you. it kind of also comes down with not forcing the ball. You can make passes like that, but only if this player is in a way. This is kind of a player lock example. But the one thing I wanted to show you is this is another thing, right? You see how, for example, this player is marking that pass? You never force a pass. Too many times I see players, you know, they get the ball already in midfield and they're thinking, oh, I got this player running in behind that player. Let me just force the ball to them. You shouldn't be doing that. An elite player will not force the ball. They'll analyze the situation and they'll be like, okay, can I go backwards? And that's what they'll do. It's like here I do a 1-2 backwards and then I see Ben Yedder with the ball. Then I take a touch towards him and then I see there's no one in the way. Then I do a driven pass, which is a fast pass. But again, there was no one there. So before I did the pass, I actually timed it and basically I waited for no one to be there. But if we go, for example, to, let's say one over here, we're going to do a pass failure example. Let me show you over here. This is a pass failure. So have a look at why this pass failed and let me know what you think. I'm going to pause it at the exact same time it failed and I'll kind of be like a watch and learn. So you can tell me, right, okay, let's let it play first. If I'm just rambling on. Okay, so this pass over here, the question is, why did it fail? The challenge is right now, write down in the description, go write down why this pass failed and what you would do better to correct this pass. Write it down. I just want to see what everyone's consensus is. Don't look at anyone else's responses. Write down your own. But I'll pause the video now, but I want to play it now. But so what happened here was, this is an example of a first time pass. You can see, for example, in the initial phases, you can see with Gomez, I take a touch downwards, safety, make a pass going forward. Promes, I take a touch backwards and make a pass going backwards. Here, I get the ball with Verdi, I take a turn away, face play, go backwards. Here, when I make a pass to Verdi, no one's next to him, so I can afford to take that pass. And this is another thing as well. You see when you make a pass, right? Sometimes the player might make a pass with his wrong foot. A general rule of thumb is, it's not proven, but generally speaking, the game registers the closest foot towards the ball, and that's why sometimes, even though there are players got a 5-star weak foot and it makes sense to use his right foot, sometimes they use his left foot. It makes no sense. And this is kind of the general rule of thumb is, that's why you want to take a touch before you make a pass, otherwise you get this toe pump pass and sometimes it can fail. But anyway, when I get the ball over here, the reason why the pass failed is I'm not facing the player, but more importantly, there's someone over there. I should never have made that pass. If I wanted to correct this, there's two ways I could have done this. One, not passed. But if I was going to make the pass, I should have gone downwards and then made the pass. But the safest thing to do here is do a ball roll. If I do a ball roll here, I create a new passing angle. Normally you do the ball away. So if the goal is over here, most defenders are going to defend the side towards goal. So no one's going to think to run out on the ball roll. So if you do the ball roll away, you can get the pass in behind. That way, if he tries to run out or he tries to slide tackle, I've created a new passing lane as opposed to the yellow pass. And you can see, for example, like here, if I just did a ball roll, that would have been a good pass. But also, look how the game, look here, a pass with my left foot would have been perfect. But see how my, a pass with my right foot would have been perfect here, because of course you'll open your body up and make the pass. But you see how the game forces the pass on the left foot. Why this happens is, again, the game registers the closest foot towards the ball. It's like here, and then it registers the closest foot towards the ball, and then it forced it with my left foot. And that's why the pass could have gone like this, but it ended up going like that. And that's why I say you gotta take a touch first. Another advice is, don't run when you hold the ball. So when you make a pass, don't run, make sure you jog. If you're ever wondering about this, I have a video on my Patreon, of course. Patreon link is down below. Still making videos, but the Patreon videos all linked down below. Patreon.com/NilGuides. Well, last year's videos, this year's videos, and more videos getting made anyway. But the point I was trying to make is, stats, obviously you can have 99 rated stats, right? By the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. 99 rated stats, are they important? Yes. But if you don't even create the angle to make a pass, then it's your fault. If you lose the ball, it's your fault. So my best advice is, in every single aspect of play, whether you're attacking, defending, if you've got the ball in any situation, you do a ball to make a pass. If you're not sure, you play it safe. For example, like here, you can see a very much risky pass. I should never have done this pass. I wanted to give you this example anyway to show you that if that through ball went away and he got that ball, he could have won the ball back. If you're ever unsure, just make a short pass, someone clear, take a touch away, and then make a choice. You can always lob it back to the goalkeeper with the circle, but sorry, square or the B button. Square or the, I think it's wherever the Xbox controller button is. I think it is. Sorry, X. Apologies, X. So you can always use the square or the B button to go back to the goalkeeper. But you can see I get the ball over here. The same example, right? Someone's making a run in behind. So you see, for example, like here, I could have made that pass. Deulofeu hasn't got the best passes, so I don't force it. I do a 1-2. I see Ronaldo over Mars on a 3. Then as you can see, when I get the ball to over Mars, I do a ball roll. I guarantee that passing angle. Then once I get the ball over here, and I do a fake shot stop and I split it back, you see how I face the player? And even over Mars, you see how I face the player first before I make the pass? A lot of people, when they get in this situation, their first instinct is to make a first time pass. Now, so if Ronaldo was standing over here, then the first time pass would be fine. As I said to you, you can still do first time passes in the final third of in your opponent's box. It's fine to take the risk, because if you lose the ball here, it's fine. You know, you lose the ball here, so what? You can recover. But if you're making that same mistake at this situation where the ball's in the middle of the pitch, you lose the ball, your opponent's got players ahead of him, he can counter you so quickly. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you're going to take the risk, do it in your final third. That way, if you lose the ball, at least you got the rest of the pitch to recover in. But you can see even over here, you see how I take a touch away? Take a touch away. I face the player, and then I make the pass. See that how I guarantee that pass? They do a first time pass because no one's in the way. And you can see, for example, this pass. Why did it fail? You can see over here. Literally, the game forced it. What should I have done here? I should have done a ball and made a pass going upwards. And you can see, for example, that's why a lot of passes fail in that region. So make sure you either do a ball roll, you take a touch away. And if you can't make the pass, just don't force it. Just don't force it. Don't think, okay, you know what, there's someone there, I need to get the ball going forward. You can always have another situation. I want to go through one final example, which is also important, is looking at the radar. If you're in general in any situation, like for example, like here, you can see the perfect examples that implement the pass into you. Pass going downwards, opponents, the guy coming towards me, not too sure, so I do a ball roll, guarantee the angle. You see that? I'm not too sure there, so I do a ball roll downwards, and you'll see this in the FIFA School. Check out the passing tutorial and the taking a touch away from defenders and of how to avoid getting pressed. Watch the tutorials. Ball roll, create the angle. Angle of failure, make sure you watch that as well. Same thing with Sissoko. I don't make a first time pass to Mbappe. I take a touch, face Mbappe, then I make the pass. Mbappe, I take a touch going forward, face upward, then I make a pass. Here, I took a very risky pass, but the difference was, in this situation, I was looking at the radar. The co-op camera angle I would recommend for every single player below Elite 2, in my opinion. Because although you might think being closer to the pitch is better for you, better day being further away is better because you can see everything. And you might take you some time to adjust. But if you can see everything, you can defend better, you can react better, you can make better passes. Too many players are too zoomed in now. When you're too zoomed in, you can't see that much of the pitch and you don't look at the radar. The pro guys, they can use telebroadcast because they look at the radar every 2 seconds. Are you flicking your... Even I'm using a crop camera angle and I'm still looking at the radar. Are you looking at the radar every second? If you're not, then you have to use the crop camera angle. And you can see, for example, that pass only fine is because, as you can see, from experience, I took a touch outwards. And see, look, this is the thing. In this situation, if I made a pass facing downwards, the pass would have been covered, okay? But you see, I had to open my body up in an opposite angle, like this angle facing that way. So I forced the ball going on my left foot, and that way the pass curves like that. That is why the passes work for other players and don't work for you. And then you can say, get the ball back over here. I get the ball with Neymar, tried doing a double elastico, didn't work out. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes the game will BS you. You know, you might see people do, these disgusting backheel passes, and sometimes the ball will go through. I'm not doubting that, but it's rare. It's kind of like in real life. If you play it as a backheel pass, sometimes it'll go through. It won't go through all the time. So this is the thing. Yes, you can take a risk. Try to turn off flare passes. That way, the game doesn't screw you over. I would say, in my opinion, if you want to take a risky pass, you do it in a final third. But if your opponent makes some ridiculous pass, think of it as a game of chance. If you made that pass in 10 times, what's the chance of that pass going through? Out of the other 9 times, maybe the passes don't go through, but you don't realize it because you get the ball back. It's only when you concede against it. It's like same thing when people say the game goes against me. I guarantee you, there's many games in your weekend league where you shouldn't have won, but you don't think about it because you win anyway. Do you know what I mean? And you only think about your losses. But I'm pretty sure on the other end of the scale, the opponent that you beat, he's probably thinking, I got hard done by it and you got lucky. So it's kind of the same, and it does work both ways. Another situation I wanted to say as well, with driven passes, be careful when you use driven passes because obviously the lack of control is a bit risky. As you can see, like here, another example, bit off the controller, but you can see I do a ball there, guaranteed a safety. And you can see I do a pass when I get the ball over here. I just wanted to show you one example. I was winning 6-2. It's not that it's irrelevant, but I wanted to show you as well, it's all about timing of the pass as well. If you are going to make a pass, just make sure you do time it. Don't just spam a pass. And it's the same thing with, for example, lob passes and everything of that nature. So you can see one more final example over here, because already on 14 minutes. I get the ball back here. You see a towel, a very risky pass. But the only reason why I made that pass is from experience. Rashford was behind me. If Rashford was in line or just like that, I would never have made the pass. Only because Atal, the 5-star weak foot, I knew in that situation and Rashford was behind me. That's why I made the pass. Otherwise here, safe back to the goalkeeper. Because it's important to show you these scenarios that even I do it wrong. But the difference is that from experience, I know what works and what doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't work for me, and you'll see me on stream. I'm looking at the chat sometimes. I'm not paying attention. I make a mistake. But those things happen. You can see the most important thing is trying to avoid them here. Kamara, same thing. Take a touch, face the player. First time touch uppers, no one there. Take a touch. See it with I didn't do a first time pass back like up there. I took a touch, guarantee the angle, then done a through ball that way. And you can see even I took a touch. You see how Renato Sanchez on his left foot nearly messed up the pass as well. And you can see when I get the pass going forward here, L1 trigger. I see the player making a run down the wing. No one with me. Take a touch backwards. Do a ball all away. I can't make a pass in the middle. Don't force it. And then I only make the pass once I see the space. And then you can see it's all about timing. I'm waiting. I face that way. I do the L1 trigger so that player makes a run in behind. And then I do a lob pass. So of the L1 triangle. So it's all about timing as well. You know, you can't, unfortunately, Delafeu misses, but again, it's all about timing. You know, if this player was marked, I would not have made that pass, only because there's no one literally next to him. But I hope this helped with passing. My best advice is, and I can guarantee you this, if the ball comes to your feet and you want to pass the player, be over here, if you take a touch upwards, left analog stick, you face the player and you make the pass will never miss. If there's someone in the way, either don't make the pass, or if you want to make a pass, do an L1 trigger and then use a ball roll and then make a pass after. Those last 10 seconds that I explained is legit the basic principle that all pro players and all elite players do, but they just don't think about it. It happens to them naturally because they're used to it. But that's what I want you to start doing anyway. But I hope you enjoyed this video. A bit of a long one, but I hope you kind of understood the reasonings why passes fail, why some passes work, and generally speaking, why pass in general, what kind of is the main outcome. And one final, do you know what, while I'm here, I'll just show you one final example if you are still here. More of a defensive situation. When I'm defending, I try to block the angle out. So you see, for example, like here, I was a bit too aggressive. And you can see over here, I can see he's on the outside. He wants to make a pass on the outside. So I don't overcommit on the inside. I go on the outside so I can protect the through ball. He makes a through ball, I get screwed. Okay, fine. I run the inside. This is the thing with Semedo, watch. I don't go towards the player. I'm cutting the cutback. You see that? I'm always, the way I'm passing, I'm understanding how to pass. Once you understand, your defense will get better because you'll be like, I know what passes work, what doesn't work. Then here, when I'm here, cutting the passing lane, then I cut the angle towards goal. So he tries to take a shot. I've got the angle covered and something going near post. Then when he cuts inside, then I use the running jockey to cover him. And then I get the ball back after. But you see, this comes with experience. Once you understand how passing works, this passing works. I mean, like this defending side of it will come naturally to you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget I do stream on twitch.tv/NoGuides. Twitch streams also down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Take it easy and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.